Hello and welcome to a mini adventure day out with Damon. So this is being filmed slightly after we've been to the Iron Bridge Gorge, and I've decided to take another little adventure whilst Terry and Ollie go and have a rest at the Airbnb. So I'm going to head into the town of Madeley, or Madeley, whatever the name is, and we're going to go and have a look at the historic buildings around the area. So the Airbnb that we've stayed in is really close, if not next door to Blitz Hill, which is over there, which was the video that we started our Shrewsbury trip on. And where we're going to be heading is up here and to the right, and that will take you into the village, or maybe a town. And I know that there are a lot of historical buildings up that way, so that's what we're going to go and have a look at. So we're just heading up this pathway. We've gone up that road that was heading towards the right, and this should lead us into the bottom end of Madeley or Madeley. So as I'm walking up this hill, it's a little bit steep. I've just come across this, the Bartlett's Gardens. Looks like a botanical garden. Oh, it's a community orchard. Rather interesting. Anyway, after that little detour, we're going to head straight up towards the top end of the village. That hill was a lot steeper than it looked. It's worn me out a little bit. Yeah, that is Station Terrace there, and along this road here is Station Road, which must mean at one time either this was a railway line or there was a station not too far away from here, and we'll probably end up having to have a look on maps later and have a see where that is. So after consulting with Google Maps as I'm walking along Station Road, there's this little side alleyway or ginnel, and this leads on to a footpath area called Silcombe Way, which used to be the old railway line. So we should be able to follow this, and it will take us near to the town centre. I don't know about you, but that right there looks like an old station building. To be a very prominent cycleway now. I know that if you follow this cycle path or this Silcombe Way, eventually it will lead you into Telford, which is about 3 miles in that direction. But we're not heading to Telford. We're going to be getting off very soon and going seeing the town centre here at Madeley or Madeley. The whirring of cars and traffic and music, so it must mean that we are somewhere close to the town centre. Ah yes, there we are, over the top there. Right, let's try and find our way off this road and get into the town centre. It's worth keeping your eyes peeled when you're out and about on adventures, because you can find a lot of history in these blue plaques. Now, in the UK we have these everywhere to be able to determine a place of historical significance. And this one states, the People's Centre, Mount Zion, Primitive Methodist Chapel from 1865 to 1977. Later used as a community groups as the People's Centre. And I'm pretty sure that we're going to be finding plenty of other places around here as we walk by. It is a very historical area. Post box, which if you watch the Blitz Hill video you'll know that I quite like old post boxes, and I have spotted another blue plaque on this building here, and the blue plaque states Lumley Hall, Madeley or Madeley Court, County Courthouse, 1858 to 1950. After a variety of youth and social uses, it is now the home of Telford Amateur Boxing Club and Madeley or Madeley Music Project. I'm certainly very proud of the history around here, and I can understand why these old buildings are very beautiful. I shall just hold on this plaque for a second so everybody can have a read. I won't read every single one of them out, that must be a bit of a boring video. But yeah. They do try and keep the houses looking traditional around here, even if they do use some new materials. But it's something that you don't see very often around the UK. And it's nice that they want to kind of preserve their history a little bit. Basically the centre of the village here now, and we're going to take a little route up this way. We're going to head straight up that way.
I sort of forget about it. I've got the deeds for it, you know, sort of from about 17 something, handwritten on the building.
These buildings need a little bit of TLC and a little bit of love, due care and attention, but they are being done up. And I was just speaking to the owner of the last stop on this trip, and they own the house back there, the old Tudor house, and they were saying it might be from the 1500s. Sorry if the wind is catching it a little bit, but yeah, they own the last stop that we're going to be going to, and there's a little bit of interesting facts that they were telling me about where we're going to, so yeah, just stay tuned for that. That is something that I could really go for right now, but we will just have to wait on that one. So we're just heading along now, and I've come across some interesting places on these walks. We have the old vicarage, built in 1700. Beautiful building. And then right next to it, as a vicarage, you always have a church, and this is St Michael's, built in 1796 by Thomas Telford. I'm not personally a religious person, but I can always appreciate the architecture of a good church. And this is certainly a very pretty church, a little bit different to the sort of churches that you see. These have nice round windows, and usually you get to see a lot of stained glass, but it doesn't seem to be a lot of stained glass unless they are behind these coverings by the looks of it. Oh. I bet you there are some very old and very famous names in this graveyard. See, I know this sounds a little bit morbid, but I could quite happily walk and wander through graveyards, because you find a lot of history behind the local area with these tombstones and the writings upon them. Talk about decorative. I'm trying not to stand anywhere near or on a grave. I don't want to invoke the superstition. In loving memory of Charles Arthur, beloved son of George and Edith Turner, born October 28th, 1898 and died November 6th, 1906, 8 years old. Children back then didn't really survive very long. You'd usually have a family of 11 and probably be left with 4, maybe 5 if you were lucky. This is the Turner Memorial. It says, 8-year-old Charles Arthur Turner was playing with friends near Meadow Pit, a local mine of which the pit mound still survives, next to the junction of Ironbridge Road and Glenriding Way, or Glendining Way. Close to where the children were playing was an easily accessible and inadequately fenced discharge pit for hot water from the mine's winding engine boiler. While attempting to protect his younger brother from an accident, The boy fell into the pit himself, sustaining severe scalding. Ooh, nasty. Medical facilities at the time being limited, he succumbed to his injuries and he died 17 days after the incident. A subsequent inquest recorded a verdict of death due to scalds accidentally received. Unable to afford a professionally made tombstone, the family painstakingly assembled the unique mosaic memorial using the skills of Arthur's mother, who was a worker at Moore's Tailory. Following deterioration over the years, the memorial has been restored in 2005 through the efforts of the Madeley Local Studies Group on behalf of the people of Madeley, with assistance from the Heritage Lottery Fund. And here is that tombstone. Absolutely beautiful. One of a kind. As much as I do love a good wander through a graveyard to be able to get hold of the local history, I can't spend all day in here. I have to carry on and get on to my next place. But it has been really nice seeing the local church in this area. I missed this as I was coming in, but there was this lovely grave here, which is, here lies the body of Reverend John William de Fletcher, Vicar of Madeley, and was born Nyon in Switzerland. My Roman might be off, but I'm pretty sure that is 1726 to 1775. Please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong there. But yeah, what a lovely grave. Obviously a very well beloved vicar in the area. Anyway, back on our walk. It's just where we're looking for, Coalport Road. That leads us down to, well, Coalport. You could just imagine that the road that I am currently walking on would have been either a cobbled road or an old dirt track all the way down to the Coalport. But now it's a nice paved tarmac road used for modern cars. But could you imagine them having to take the horse and cart down here, or even just like walking along with their donkeys in tow? Yeah, what a different time that we live in. Just at the end of this road, at the end of Coalport Road, is this, our final stop. Welcome to the All Nations Pub Home Brewed Ale. Honestly, such a nice and welcoming pub. Nice long walk, nice cool pint. Oh, that's good. I was speaking to the owner of the pub up at the top before. She was saying that there's only ever been basically 4 separate owners of this pub, but she's saying that as she has been the owner, she's found stuff under the floorboards, and she's found little clay pipes. And at the bottom of Ironbridge there is a pipe museum, which she highly recommended that I go and visit. Maybe I'll go and do it sometime in the future. Until then, I'm going to enjoy my scampi fries and a good cool pint. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next day out with Damo. Hello everyone, Editing Damo here. I'd like to say a big thank you for watching this video. If you want to see more content, why not like, comment and subscribe? I'll be coming back with more of these long form videos in the future. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.